Good afternoon, everyone. Today's video goes out primarily to educators, barber, cosmetology, esthetician, or nail technology. Students, you're welcome to watch as well, but the message we're trying to convey really is geared more towards instructors. As an instructor, you get to look at the failing scores of your students, and you see the sections that they perform poorly on. Now, we know from 35 years in this industry with thousands and thousands of students that the majority of students who fail their tests perform poorly on 2 or 3 chapters. Number 1, infection control. Number 2, anatomy and physiology. Over the years, I've had 2 different students who passed their tests, went on to careers in barbering and cosmetology, and sometime later decided to go get their nursing degree. One in California, one in Texas. And if there's those 2, there must be many others. I was contacted by both of the nursing schools, California and Texas, and they told me if I would supply them with the course curriculum from our school and the course curriculum from the cosmetology and barber boards, they would just give the students nursing school credits for infection control, anatomy, and physiology. Now, if the nursing school is willing to just give you credits for what you learned in cosmetology and barber school, that should tell you how much you're going to learn about infection control, anatomy, and physiology in cosmetology and barber school. And it should also clue you into how hard the licensing exam will be on those subjects, which is why so many students fail because of those 3 chapters. Now, we speak to people every day. They use primarily this textbook, Milady. I think, in my personal opinion, it's the best of the 3 books out there. And the barbers will use primarily this textbook. Again, in my personal opinion, I think it's the better of the 3 barber books available. However, none of the books are complete. Let me just throw a couple of examples. These are very popular current questions right now. Not in either one of those 2 textbooks. Teachers, do you know what a shadow wave is? Because your students don't, and that's why they're failing the test, and you won't find it in either one of those 2 textbooks. Here's where you will find it. In our barbering book, and in our cosmetology book. We have this material available in English and Spanish, barbers, cosmetologists, skincare, and nail technology. Now, schools charge a lot of money. Your students want this information. Your students need this information. But perhaps more importantly, based on the tuition they pay, your students deserve this information. And if they were getting it, they would have a lot higher passing scores than they have. Now, another question that's very popular. Okay? Do you know what an organelle is? Because I didn't until a couple of weeks ago. And I had to find it in the cosmetology, not in the cosmetology book, in the esthetician book, because it's not in the cosmetology book, it's not in the barber book, it's in the esthetician book, organelles. This is just 2 examples, excuse me, talking too much today. This is just 2 examples of questions that our students are being asked that they're not being taught. Now, another thing that I see over the years, and you probably have seen this as well, how many students fail the test by 1 or 2 points? And when I look at their failure notice from the state, and I see they got a 73 or 74, all they needed was 75, then I look over and I see that in their state, there's between 5 and 7 questions on state board rules and regulations. Then I go down further and I see they got a 2 or a 3 on their knowledge of state board rules and regulations, which means had they understood the state board regs and rules better, they would have left with the license and not a failure notice. Why didn't they understand the rules and regs? Because the school didn't teach it to them. Why should they know this without the school? If they knew these things without the school, they wouldn't be going to the school. The school has the obligation to teach them these things. And it's so simple. All you have to do is log on to your state board of barbering or cosmetology, or in many states it's a combined board, barber, cosmo. Click on rules and regs, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to know. There's only 5 or 6 things you need to know. That's why there's only 5 or 6 questions, maybe 7 on the state board exam. Things like, how do you get to be a state board member? How long are you a board member for? What are the requirements? Do you need a cosmetology license, a barber license, a medical degree, a law degree, no degree? What do you need to be a board member? It's right there. And if you don't know how to find your state board's website, log on to our site, www.cosmetologystateboardexam.com. Up at the top, click it says State Board Addresses. There's a drop-down screen, alphabetically gives you every state in the country. State Board contact website, physical address, mailing address if it's different, email address, a couple of telephone numbers. Usually I avoid the 800 numbers, you get an answering machine, but sometimes that's all there is. If you cannot find it on our website, we have every single cosmetology state board. Few of the barbers are not there yet. If you have this edition of the Barber book, it happens this one is in Spanish, but we also have it in English. This was the prior edition. About 6 years ago, they put a new one. The back of this book gave you the website and physical address for every barber board in the country. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, the new one doesn't give it to you. If you have access to this version, look in the back. It gives you the contact information for every website. Go to their website, log on, click on where it says rules and regs, and you'll know everything your students need to know to pass. If you don't have this access to this book, call us. We do. Call us at 760-534-4434. We'll be happy to give you the website contact information. Again, that's 760-534-4434 in English and in Spanish, 7 days a week, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., www.cosmetologystateboardexam.com. Give us a call and help your students to start passing the test in higher numbers. Thank you.